This Damian Priest and Aleister Black thing just won't end, and I'm over it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of SmackDown Explained, the weekly show where we talk about everything that happened on this week's Friday Night Smackdown, what it means for the storylines that were portrayed this week, and where everything seems to be going. Anyway, let's get into it. Hey, since you're here, might as well subscribe, right? So yeah, the show opened with Damian Priest cutting a promo on Aleister Black, talking about how this feud was over and how it's done. I beat Aleister. Whatever. This means the feud is over. Zelina Vega then interrupted him and was like, "You didn't even pin him, dude." And she's right. You didn't even pin him. And then Aleister Black came out and attacked Damian Priest. And I am so over this feud. I just think they both need to move on to something else. This is like their third, fourth match they've had already. I don't care. I think this should have been done with a one-off. I think after that whole Zelina Vega joining Aleister Black and that fireball thing, that was super weird. I think it all should have just been done there. I don't know why they keep pushing the storyline. But yeah, Aleister Black attacked Damian Priest. And I guess we're going to keep going now? I don't know. Let's just end this WWE. I don't know. Let's have a match next week where maybe we write off Damian Priest. I don't know what you do here, but let's finish this. This was followed up by a match between Lash Legend and Nia Jax against the Kabuki Warriors. This was a non-title match, I'm assuming, because Nia Jax and Lash Legend won. And Kairi takes another pin. For the third week in a row, Kairi takes a pin. And the Kabuki Warriors lost. The tag team champions lost to another tag team. So, what's going on with the Kabuki Warriors? We're supposed to portray them as strong champions against these 6 other tag teams or whatever it is, and they can't get a win. And Kairi keeps losing. So Kairi is the weakest one among them all. I don't know. I don't like what they're doing with Kairi. Kairi deserves respect. Kairi deserves more. Let's give Kairi some wins. Plain and simple. Right? Let's give the champion some wins. After this match, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair came out to attack Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Again, pushing the story forward of the multi-team match. Apparently, there is a title match on Monday Night Raw between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus the Kabuki Warriors. They'll probably get interrupted. Honestly, I feel like maybe Nia Jax and Lash Legend are going to interrupt it because now, they totally have a right for that title. They beat the tag champions. Right? And then there was a promo at some point after this where Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss was like, whoever wins, we got next. So, yes, we're pushing that forward. It doesn't really matter who wins on Monday. It's probably going to end in a no contest because they're going to get interrupted, and we're just going to keep amplifying. I guess it's not next week. Sorry, it's the first Raw of the year. But we're going to keep pushing towards that storyline of this multi-women tag match for the titles. And yeah, let's do it. Let's have this happen. I don't want it to happen at the Royal Rumble because all of these women need to be in the Rumble. But let's do it. Let's do it in the London Raw before the Rumble. Why not? The middle of this SmackDown was a whole lot of nothing as far as I'm concerned. We had Julia beat Alba Fire, right? I guess as a way to get to to Chelsea Green for that US title. We all knew Julia would win that. It was really a nothing match. Whatever, who cares? There was also a promo in there with, I guess not a promo, but a segment with The Miz talking to Nick Aldis, wanting to have a match against Joe Henry. He didn't appear. And then they also keep teasing this thing between The Miz and Carmelo Hayes, which either do it or don't, WWE. Right? You're doing that whole thing where, we were supposed to have this weeks ago, and now we don't care because it was so long ago. Either do it or don't. Stop trying to be like, oh, is The Miz and Melo going to be a thing? Right? Because as The Miz was asking for this match against Joe Henry, he was like, oh, I'm sure you're here for a match against Carmelo Hayes. And The Miz is like, yeah, no, I definitely want that match, but not right now. Either do it or don't, WWE. I don't care anymore. Just do it or don't do it. At one point tonight, we also have an interview with Jade Cargill where they're asking her about her attack on Michin last week. And in the middle of that, she gets attacked by Michin with a kendo stick. So I guess that's still going to be a thing. I don't know. Probably have a match next week or the week after that. No one believes that Michin's going to beat Jade. That's the biggest thing, right? Is Michin can attack Jade all she wants. No one thinks she's going to beat her. So that's a thing still. We also got Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes against DIY. Match was great. Match was fun. Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes get the win. Before this, though, there was a backstage segment where Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes are chatting with Fraxium. They're chatting with Fraxium about, Fraxium wants next or like save some for us. Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes get like defensive for some stupid reason. I don't get it. But the thing about this whole segment was that in the background, we have Tama Tonga just lurching in the background, right? Looking at that US title. And I need him to be my US champion. I need Tama Tonga. Nope. Tonga Loa. Nope. Tama Tonga. I need Tama Tonga to be my US champion. I get them both confused in my head. Just name alone, I get them both confused. But I need Tama Tonga to be my US champion. And I need it to happen ASAP. I need it to happen as soon as possible. I need him to get a match during the Open Challenge, which they don't seem to run the Open Challenge during pre-recorded SmackDown. So I don't know if they'll have one next week. But I need it to be Tama Tonga. He needs to be my US champion. That's all I got to say about that. We got a Cody promo also in the middle of the ring. He talks about how Drew McIntyre interrupted his match at Saturday Night's Main Event and how he kind of lost it a little bit and went to Drew's house and attacked him and whatever. And then he gets interrupted by Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis is like, "Look, man, you've kind of pushed my hand, right? Like you forced my hand, and now I have to reinstate Drew McIntyre, and I have to make sure that you don't attack him. And if you do attack him, you lose the Undisputed Championship." I like these kind of like stipulations on things because it seems, I don't know, there's like consequence to things, right? And like if you really want this match, and again, I don't understand why they're running this match again. Either Drew wins this or like what's the point of having another match? But I'm sure they're running another match. It'll probably be at the Royal Rumble. I doubt Cody Rhodes loses, which then just like makes Drew look even weaker. I don't know. I don't get it. But then like Cody was like very uncharacteristically, he cut this heel promo on Nick Aldis where he calls himself QB1. He's like, "I don't think you know who you're talking to. I'm the guy who ended Roman Reigns' historic championship reign. I'm the guy who defeated the GOAT to get this championship back. I'm QB1, blah, blah, blah." Like very heelish promo on Nick Aldis, right? And then Nick Aldis is like, "You're not above the law." And then Cody Rhodes is like, "I am the law." Weird. What a weird promo. And then also, so Cody's like, as long as I have this title, I am this law. He's like, "And I don't work for you, I work for them," meaning, us, the WWE universe. And then he's like, "And you work for me, Nick Aldis. As long as I hold this title, you work for me." This is a very heelish promo. I feel like they're planting seeds for this like Cody heel turn, but I also feel like they've been planting seeds for a while. And either do it or don't again, right? Because this promo's a little I sent the tweet that set the wrestling world on fire. I guess that's when they started AEW. He's hinting at, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this Cody Rhodes. I feel like I don't know. Something tells me that this Drew McIntyre Cody match, whatever this next match that's happening, is gonna set up something big, right? And I really hope it's a Drew heel turn. I do. I'm sorry, a Cody heel turn. I really hope it's a Cody heel turn. It just needs to happen. And it would make whatever happens at WrestleMania, because Cody will probably still hold the title at WrestleMania, it would make it that much more interesting. So let's see what happens. And then we get the main event, which honestly was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. The MFT matches seem to drag. it's mostly because of JC Mateo, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. But yeah, the MFT matches seem to drag for me. JC Mateo just doesn't do it for me. But this was a lot of fun, and most of it obviously was because of what happened after the match. The match ended in a no contest, right? The match was doing great. I was really enjoying the match actually, mostly because you guys know Wyatt's this guy and Wyatt. Love the Wyatts. But yeah, the match ended in a no contest after they all started brawling. There needs to be a match between Solo and Uncle Howdy. Period. Like, sure, whatever. I don't care what happens to the titles. I don't care if the MFTs take the tag team titles. Solo and Talatanga and Tamatanga get involved in the match, and then Howdy and Big Red also get involved. They all start brawling, and then the people in the match get into this brawl that's happening outside. No contest, whatever. They fight until SmackDown goes off the air. And like I said, I think this all needs to culminate in a Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa match at some point. I think that match would be awesome. I think both of these guys are really fun in the ring. Um, there was a really fun segment in the middle of this brawl where Solo gave Eric Rowan a Samoan spike, but it was really funny because he had to knock him on his knees first because Eric Rowan is so tall. I thought that was clever. I thought that was fun. I think it made Solo Sikoa look like a badass. So anyway, like I said, I don't care who wins the titles. I think the title should honestly go to the MFTs if we want to book them strong. But I think we ultimately need a Solo Sikoa against Uncle Howdy match to kind of bring this feud to an end at the end. I don't know. And unfortunately, I think Solo should win that if we want to make the MFTs look strong. But you guys know I love Uncle Howdy. You guys know I love anything Wyatt. So it really breaks my heart to say that, but I do. I think Solo needs to win that feud against Uncle Howdy, but I think that match needs to happen. So there you have it, folks. A pre-recorded SmackDown that honestly had a lot of fun things with it. A lot of things were like, oh no, this is definitely a pre-recorded SmackDown. A lot of the backstage segments that should have had different reactions were just like generic crowd noise because pre-recorded SmackDown. But you know what? I'm not gonna complain about WWE giving the wrestlers some time off, right? I think, like I said, they pre-recorded this week's SmackDown last week, and then they pre-recorded the SmackDown that's airing next week that was pre-recorded this week. And it's all to give them, the Christmas week off. I'm not gonna hate on that. Like, I hope the wrestlers enjoy their time off. I hope all the staff enjoy their time off. Fine. WWE, kudos for giving them some time off. So I'm not gonna complain about a pre-recorded SmackDown. But pre-recorded SmackDowns do seem to drag a little bit. This one I thought was pretty entertaining as far as pre-recorded SmackDowns go. Setting some things up for sure. Again, a couple of like non-stories, like the Miz and Joe Henry, like that's not gonna be a thing. Like that's all to showcase Joe Henry. Fine. Miz and Mello, if it's gonna happen, let it happen. If it's not, then why do we keep bringing it up? But anyway, since you made it this far, make sure to drop a like. Let me know what you thought of tonight's SmackDown in the comments, right? Did you enjoy it? Do you think that some of these stories are going somewhere? Do you think that WWE is doing that thing where they tease something that never happens? I think that that's what they're doing with the Miz and or with the Miz and Carmelo Hayes. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. And as always, have a nice day.